Hello everyone, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. Today we're going to look at one creature specifically, although we're going to see a whole bunch of creatures by happenstance because they all reside in my glorious 125-gallon mixed reef aquarium. There are so many organisms and animals in here to talk about, but I'm going to focus on one of the most interesting and misunderstood creatures in the saltwater kingdom, let alone the saltwater reef aquarium hobby, and that's the black sea urchin, long-spined urchin, which is most often black, and it has that telltale eye spot right in the center, which you can see even from here and with this mixed focus going on. So the first misconception, how shall I put this, that's not an eye, folks, that's the anus, where the animal will excrete its waste after consuming it from the underside, which we cannot see. This is an incredible eater of algae on our reefs, and to have them there is a huge benefit to the reef system, and likewise can be for your aquarium. Their primary diet is algae, and this one comes out in particular at night and gradually makes its way across the aquarium, grazing upon algae from both the sides of the walls of the tank, as you see here, as well as within the live rock. Often during the day or when the highlights are on, these are still pretty high, but evening lights, but when it's most bright, they tend to find crevices and, I don't want to say hide, but lodge themselves under overhangs or in the dark recesses of the tank, kind of like what you see here. But my sea urchin, believe it or not, Spike I call him, he's the longest running inhabitant of this tank. Now, I've moved this entire fish tank from a previous residence, and he was among the first creatures I put in the tank there, and that was over 5 years ago. And when I put him in, or rather when Ocean Treasures, who set up this tank, Ocean Treasures is in the Bay Area, I'll put a link, it was the size of a golf ball. Now it is the size of a softball, but make no mistake, there's nothing soft about a long-spined sea urchin. Those spines over the years have caused me more pain than anything else in this tank. And I have some Paleothoa, which have infinitely more hazardous toxin, but I would have to be more careless to acquire that poison into my system. Here, when I have, as my theme for the YouTube channel says, always keep my hands in the tank, when I do have my hands in the tank, sometimes I'm not aware of where Spike is, and boom, I need only graze upon it, and one of those spines will dislodge its tip, which contains a small sac of toxin or poison. It hurts about as much as a bee sting, give or take, and you're supposed to put vinegar on it. Usually I just sort of grind it out, put my hand under or arm under hot or cold water, anything to divert the sensation of pain, and then it fades over time. But it's not a great thing. I look at it as kind of a scar from the trade. I wear them with pride, the little black spot in my flesh. I like to tell people I got stung in my aquarium because that is always a conversation starter. Now, they are reef safe in that they won't tend to eat corals. I've heard stories contrary to that, but that has not been my experience. What they can do that's problematic is during their moving about, they accidentally can knock over plenty of corals, especially if they're on frag plugs or not secured well to the tank. Obviously, these big leathers and gorgonians are no longer going to be knocked over because they've already created a system by which they're attached to the live rock, and it would take a larger effort than happenstance scavenging to knock them over. That's been the biggest and only problem I've had with this creature, other than the occasional sting. And I just wanted you to be aware of some of those fun facts about the long-spined urchin in the event that you want one for your aquarium. Okay, folks, always keep your hands in the tank if carefully, and ciao for now.